Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate. It does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and we call it Your Real Estate Voice because Barb represents you. It's a fiduciary relationship. She wants to make sure that she takes care of all of your needs, your desires, and makes sure that you walk away from this experience very, very happy. Barb, let's talk about picking a selling strategy. There are so many of them out there. You've seen them come and go through the years. Walk us through it.
Well, I tell you, Richard, every home is different, and every seller's basically motivation is different about how they want to approach the sale of the home. There isn't a exact way to do this for every single home because every single home is different. Every single seller is different. And we'll get into the detail about what is that strategy, and we know how to prepare for any of them. So it's really important to pick a selling strategy first. Some people want to sell as is. Some people want their home just perfect, and either one is fine. And there's a different price for many of those. And so what we help you do is prepare your home for sale. We'll help you decide on what's a good price for the home. And then we get to work on promoting it so you get what you want. Now, you got to be very careful about selecting a real estate agent because I ask sellers all the time. I'm like, okay, have you ever seen any bad pictures of homes online? And without fail, they all say a whole bunch. We cannot believe people put these pictures up online for their homes. And normally the response from the consumer is if they see a bad picture of a home, they eliminate the home, even though they're not buying the stuff. It is the perception of if they can't pick up for photos, professional photos or cell phone photos on the lazy agent side, then how is it going to look when I get there? And I can tell you from just having firsthand experience in California of looking around for homes, in those cases, many times the photos were way nicer than what we actually saw when we drove by and put eyes on it. Like we went by on one that looked really, really cute. The price was right. And we get there and it was like this house that was down inside a bowl, like all the water flowed towards the house. I'm like, oh, I see Danger Will Robinson problems with that home. And then there were others that looked really good online, and you get there and it looks poorly cared for. The paint is fading. The neighbor's furniture is out on the front sidewalk next door. I'm like, I don't think this is going to work. So it started off with us looking for a rental for our son. And it was so expensive. We're like, you know what? Maybe we should just try to find a nice one and buy it. So that's what we're doing. So what you need to know as far as picking an agent is you want, a lot of people don't have to interview anybody to do anything. They might pick contractors for their house or something, but this is going to be a nice relationship that's going to last 3 to 5 months, right? So you want to have somebody that has your back. You want to have somebody that knows how to help you solve the problem of this big project of selling a home from start to finish. And so part of what we do is we actually give our clients information on how to interview agents. You can go up on my website, barbhasthebuyers.com, and there's all kinds of free reports. If you click on the free report button, we have 2 or 3 different reports about how to interview agents. So you make the right decision about who the agent is the best fit for you. There is really no predetermined way, but there are certain questions that you need to ask to make yourself feel comfortable. And unfortunately, most people make selections of who their agent's going to be just because they're nice people or whatever. But if that nice person is doing something to make your house look bad online, you've got a problem because they're causing demand destruction. It's all about the initial presentation online just to motivate the buyers to leave their fuzzy bunny slippers and get in their car and drive by the house. So that's step 2. If you can get them to step 2, that's good. And then the house has to impress them with good curb appeal at that point before the buyer is even going to make a request to come in and see the home. So there's a lot of factors, and we guide our clients on how to do that. And we've got great reports on our website, barbhasthebuyers.com, about how to pick an agent so you have somebody that's a right fit for you. And there are different selling strategies. So there's some people that just don't want to deal with the public coming through their house, and there's nothing wrong with that. We actually have 64 high net worth cash buyers that are will make an offer on your home. Now, it's not full market value, and they do charge a fee very much like a commission. However, it absolutely is the easy button. You don't have to make your house ready for sale. You don't have to do any repairs. You can just get your offers, multiple offers, and pick which one it is and go from there. Some people choose to sell their home empty, and that's okay too. We have a marketing strategy for that. Some people sell their homes while they live in it because they need to live in it until they get their proceeds and move on to their next house. Nothing wrong with that, but we have to help you. It's a little bit harder project because most people don't live in the home the same way you would present it to the market. In fact, the feedback I get all the time after we're done with the staging consults and the recommendations, they'll say, it feels like nobody lives here. I'm like, yeah, it does kind of look very sparse. There's no clutter. There's not as many family pictures. There's not a lot of stuff laying around, because in pictures, even a little bit of stuff is kind of amplified online. And then some people have a house that needs a lot of work, and that's okay too, right? It's just that there is a price for that. Let me tell you a story. I had a home a few years back that really needed a lot of work. It was basically 40 years of deferred maintenance, and the former owners were heavy smokers. So the smoke smell was overwhelming. And we put this home on the market right when COVID was breaking out, and it was an inherited home, and the family inheriting it, we discussed different pricing strategies and different selling strategies. I said, you can fix it up yourself. But after we did the pre-inspection, we decided, for them, it was just too much to take on. So we priced it very low, below market value. And we priced it at the time at $179 when I thought it might sell as is for $230. And of course, we got a lot of showings, but we couldn't get the agents to behave. They were leaving doors unlocked. They were leaving lights on. Finally, I had a total meltdown when some agent took the key out of the lockbox, locked it inside the garage, in the door, and locked the house so nobody else could get in. Wouldn't that make you mad, Richard?
I guess it's a good strategy if you want to be the only person who's trying to buy or sell a home, but I would be fit to be tied. You have no idea how many showings you miss when somebody does that.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, that's it. We're not going to play their game anymore. So I broke it up in 3 1-hour open houses. And I said, you guys come and look at it during this hour while we're watching you, so we know the house will be secured. And we ended up with 45 offers on that home, and it sold for about $70,000 over asking price for cash. So it worked out good. And there were some agents that were kind of flopping on the floor about, well, what about COVID? I have to be in there with other people. I'm like, then just don't come. I'm very sorry. It's like, it is what it is, but we still got a good buyer for it. So there's different strategies for different situations. But one of the tips for getting ready, make sure you have it as clean as you can get it. Curb appeal is critical. Clean up the yard. I was showing a house just a couple days ago where the yard was overgrown with those juniper plants. Do you know what those are, Richard?
Yeah, they do not work when they're overgrown.
No, and they're kind of smelly.
Yep.
And the pictures made it look fabulous, but when we got there, we could see it had structural problems. There was overgrown foliage. The buyer's like, no, we weren't even in there very long. One house we went in, there were windows intentionally left open, and the buyer's automatic assumption was, this was on a cold day and a rainy day. She goes, they must be covering some smell up. Yeah. So that's another thing you can't do, is you can't load up candles to overwhelm some dog smell or something. It's just not going to work. Make sure your bathrooms are clean, your kitchen and your appliances are clean, that you pick up most of your area rugs off the bathroom floor, the kitchen floor, because they don't photograph very well. And it actually makes the room look bigger. But if it's too big, don't worry too much about it. Door hardware needs to be clean, and there's lots more. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been doing this since 1996. I have lots of stories to tell. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is your real estate voice, and she is the proprietor and the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can listen to replays of the show anytime on all of the major podcast platforms and on YouTube as well. You go to barbhasthebuyers.com. You'll find the information there. And we're talking about the top 15 tips to sell your home for top dollar. Barb, give us some more of those tips.
Well, one tip when you're showing is open the blinds and the curtains. You want to let as much light in as possible. Use lighter colored bedding, those pretty homemade quilts and the ones with a lot of design on it, they don't photograph well. Make sure you remove excess furniture. Consider staging your home. According to the National Association of Realtors, home sellers net anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000 more on a home that's staged. Well, a lot of people don't know what staged means. Staged could just be working with your stuff to declutter and position the furniture so the buyers can visualize themselves living in that home, okay? Or it could be us, we do digital staging and we do in-person staging. So not every agent does this, but we do it because if we just take pictures of empty rooms, the buyers go, they can't. There is a certain segment of the population that if they look at an empty room, they don't know what it is or what to do with it or whether or not their furniture will fit. I'm one of those. I don't have that artistic brain. So that's why we do it. Also, unfortunately, most of the agents, 81% of them sell 3 or less homes a year. I hate to say that, but it's very true. I wish it was, more evenly based, but it's not. And it's because they're just not trained on how to do this. The training in the industry is very, very weak. But when you're selling one of your largest assets, you want to pick an agent that really knows how to do this. It has lots of experience doing this. And make sure you price it right. We talked about that. Make sure you evaluate the marketing strategy. That's absolutely critical on how the home is going to be marketed. If you get an agent that says, oh, I'm just going to use my cell phone to take pictures, please run away, because they're not going to help you. Buyers eliminate homes based on the pictures. And these days, the imagery is so high quality. We know the elimination is taking place online. You can ask one of my clients, Josh and Amy. I just sold their Briargate home for $10,000 over asking price in just a few days, and we got it closed and done in 3 weeks. So if you're thinking of making a move, you want to make sure you hire the agent that has buyers. So there's a lot of people go to Zillow. A lot of people go to realtor.com. There's even a company out there that has what they call showing agents. These are agents that have a license that are paid to go open a door in the hopes that these buyers might say yes. And then they go and hand that buyer off to somebody else that actually has some expertise in selling homes. It's a crazy system. I can't say the company name, but it's really weird to me. The problem is there's such an effort on the home seller's part to get their home ready for sale. Their assumption is every buyer coming to their home is going to want a home like theirs, and every buyer is going to be pre-qualified, and that's definitely not the truth. So you want to make sure that you hire the agent that vets buyers. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program. And on Your Real Estate Voice, you're going to find out all of the information you need to know, whether you're buying or selling, about the biggest asset you have. For most people, it's their 401k and by far their home. And if you're thinking of buying or selling your home, you want to get the most amount of money out of it, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, 6 big reasons to call your home sold, guaranteed Realty to sell your home. Stay tuned for that.